What's up, everyone? Sway Persuade back with another review, and this time I'm going to be reviewing my favorite movie of 2023. It would have to be Ridley Scott's Napoleon. As you guys can see, I'm sporting the Viva la Paris gear. Go. Um, yeah, I just spoiler alert. If you guys want no spoilers, I suggest you click off the video because I will be giving away the ending. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie because um, there's not too many things I ask for a good movie. I ask for a good cast, a good a good story, good storyline, good plot. Um, you know, you making it based on true events, on historical events. That's a bonus because you're coming up with actual facts, other than um, you know, come starting from scratch. So I like I like drama class. I did do drama class, so I really do understand the point of acting. And watching Joaquin Phoenix's performance in this movie, he really gave it his best. You can tell. I really liked his performance here better than in Joker, and a lot of people are going to debate that. But debate that in the comments, please. If you like him in the Joker, if you like him here in Napoleon. The reason why I liked him here in Napoleon is because, you know, in those moments where he's dealing with his wife Josephine, that takes true emotion to capture. And there's a scene where Moscow is burnt down. That scene of devastation, you know, because he wanted to get to Alexander the First and negotiate, but he couldn't because he burnt down his own city by the time the French have got to Moscow. So that devastation on Phoenix's face, I think he nailed it. Um, but yeah, this movie is also flawed. It's also for entertainment. Like even though they did take it from, even though this is Napoleon's life, not all of it is gonna be true. And when I first watched it, I did not know that. I went into it as a viewer, but then after I googled some facts about Napoleon. For example, when Napoleon's firing at the cannons in the movie, I mean, sorry, when Napoleon fires his cannons at the pyramids, um, the myth was Napoleon shot the Sphinx's nose off, and in Egypt. But in the movie, it doesn't show that. It shows him firing his cannons at the pyramids, which was pretty cool. That was pretty neat, even though that didn't happen supposedly. And the movie, the movie starts off with Marie Antoinette decapitation. She's the wife of King Louis, and it shows Napoleon present there. And from that scene, the movie progresses. Napoleon is trying to lead his men because the people of France are having a revolution, and Napoleon fires his cannons at the people rioting in the city. That was pretty funny. Um, and then we get to the point where what I found fascinating was before Napoleon meets Josephine. Josephine she had two prior kids in a marriage. She also lets Napoleon know that the only way for her to survive was she had to get pregnant. So her son goes to Napoleon and says, "May I please have my father's sword?" And Napoleon says, "No citizen is allowed to have a weapon." And the child begs, says, "It's the only thing I could remember my dear late father." And Napoleon ends up getting the sword for the child. It goes back to the house of Josephine and gives the child the sword. This is where we see the fascination for Napoleon towards Josephine. He takes her on a date, and grows a likeness to her. Um, with that being said, like I said prior of her bringing up, she had to get married to survive. Um, so they're just having a conversation, um, which was a great scene, great scene. And then from there uh, we see Napoleon and his men go to Egypt, right? That's the scene where he's firing his cannons at the pyramids. From what I remember, um, he's writing letters to Josephine. He's stressed out because she's not writing him back. So one of Napoleon's soldiers go up to him and they tell him that your wife have been having an affair back in Paris. And Napoleon says, "No more dessert for you." And the soldier says to Napoleon, "I would not lie to you, sir." Now, this is great acting by Phoenix because that scene right there, that this movie should have got him some type of award, Oscar, Emmy, I think. You know, it was a really incredible scene, the way he portrayed himself there. Um, so now we see Napoleon abandon his men in Egypt and he goes back to Paris to confront Josephine about her affairs. And he gets back to Paris, and Paris is printing money. Things are going, it's a total chaos in Paris. And his wife is cheating on him, so he's dealing with a lot of things. Um, he tries to get back. Napoleon is in love with this woman. This woman is not in love with him. And you can tell because when he gets married to her, I noticed when he signs the paper, the marriage agreement, he gives the pen to her and she skips his pen and grabs the other pen in the pen container. I found that odd. You'll see back to that point in a minute. And so they got married, um, and now she can't conceive his child. She can't conceive a heir for Napoleon, and that is a big factor for Napoleon because he needs to have a son, to carry his name, and this is why he wants to divorce Josephine. So he ends up divorcing her, putting her in a home where her material is looked after. She just her point of life. She doesn't have a point of life no more, but she's looked after now in that house with the other maids. And Napoleon goes and visits her once in a while. He'll come by and say hi to her, to check up on her, because you can tell he holds her dear to his heart. And so Napoleon has a son with the daughter of Austria, I believe, and has his child. Um, when Napoleon is divorcing Josephine, to that point, now Napoleon is signing the divorce papers, and then he goes and gives her the pen. She takes the pen from Napoleon to sign her name. But when they were getting married, she skipped his pen to grab the other pen. that was that was funny. That was I caught that. You know, like I said, he loved her, but she didn't love him. And you know, Napoleon was such a great man. He led the French to 5 battlefield victories, uh, just to be exiled to a rock to die, to St. Helena rock and die by the British. Because in the end, when the French are fighting the British, um, the British are just like, what are the British people are gonna say if we lose this war? So they really came prepared. They came with all their men to fight the French, and you know, it got to the point in the war where the British had a good shot on Napoleon, and the sniper men end up taking a shot at Napoleon, hitting him right in the hat. As Napoleon was turning, they hit him right in the hat, and that's how his hat dropped on the battlefield. And Napoleon survives that attack, and that's how the British set up that appointment with Napoleon and tell him, "You're exiled to Saint Helena, because by the grace of God, you've been spared." you know, great movie. The acting by Joaquin Phoenix, I think, definitely Academy Award winning. I really enjoyed that movie, and I could tell it was definitely heavy favored towards the British because the director is British, Ridley Scott. I also picked up on that. So I did. I really enjoyed the film a lot. It was my favorite film of 2023, and that film would have to be my new Titanic, just from the romance to the disastrous ending for Napoleon. I think that is very. You can kind of compare the two, and very, very, very phenomenal acting by the cast. This was a film I really enjoyed, and I hope I didn't spoil the movie for you. But if I did, I hope I made it sound very entertaining because it was very entertaining for me. Anyways, thank you guys. Suede Persuade back with another review, and I'll see you next time.